I'm not really sure how this is going to go.
You okay?
Killing this electric bike. Okay, I finally did it. So today I've set aside the entire workday with the goal of killing this electric bike. This is the Engwe LE20. This is a dual battery capable cargo bike that the company says can get as much to 211 miles of range. But honestly, I'm gonna try to kill this thing as fast as possible. So I'm gonna be merciless on this thing. We'll see what it can do. It's a cargo bike, so it should be able to stand up to a fair amount of abuse. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing throttle only, as little pedaling as possible, because I wanna get on with my life. So let's go kill this bike. You're coming along with me. Let's boogie. This one's not bad. Water. Okay, so we're here at the trail. I parked the truck nearby, got the bike unloaded, and right now the odometer says 15.1. And we're gonna rock this till the wheels fall off, or rock it till the battery dies, or maybe till I die. But let's go ahead and head out. You're gonna see some footage of when I rode it around earlier, doing some just basic filming. And I'll stop for a little bit and tell you more about the bike. Let's go. So I've been at it for a little while on the Engwe LE20. I made it to a place that the locals call the Spaghetti Bowl, just where all of the freeways kind of interact and change. Check this out. We got a freight train coming in right now, and right behind me is actually the metro track. So like right over there, like I could spit on them if I wanted to, or get my hand cut off if I stick it too far in there. But anyways, so the LE20 from Engwe, let's check it out. So this bike has been going for quite a ways, and I noticed something pretty cool about it. The dual battery setup is my favorite feature. So this bike will go for a really long time, but dude, check this out. I don't know if you can see that on the display, but it's actually showing you the battery level of both batteries. The first one is at 91%, the second one at 94%. So it's actually draining these in parallel with each other, and that's just by default. But I love that it shows you both battery percentages to a precise degree. And I also learned when I took this thing out for a spin last time that you can actually switch it, and it's super easy. All you gotta do is pretty much plug and play, turn the thing off. So the battery has a, let's see, get it up there. The secondary battery has a little on-off switch, and right now the line is pressed, meaning it's in the on position. And with that, you can just, well, show if you want to have the battery used or not. And when you have this thing turned off, it'll still show you what the percentage is on the display, but it won't actually use it. So this is what you would hope from a dual battery setup anyway. You would hope that it would act this way and kind of expect it, but you would be surprised just how many electric bikes are out there that don't perform this way, that don't show you what both batteries are doing, that don't show them in parallel with each other or anything like that. So definitely major points for Engwe on that one. Let's take it for some more mileage and see what we can get. So we made it to one of many commissioned art pieces along this short section called Parley's Trail. So while we got this cool background, I thought I'd take a minute and say something about some of the negatives of the Engwe LE20, and that's that it's really heavy. You got a huge battery and another huge battery, almost 1 kilowatt hour each. So they're 922, if I remember right, 922 watt hours for the front battery, 922 watt hours for the back. That gets you close to 2 kilowatt hours for the total bike. So the bike can carry all of that, but by golly, it is heavy. Got a lot of extra metal that's carrying around those battery packs, a lot of extra metal that's hidden behind the wheel skirts here. And the wheels itself are actually solid. So these are probably a magnesium composite material for the wheels. I like these wheels because they don't need truing, they're solid, you're not going to get any problems with them, and they can hold a greater weight. So this total bike can hold 440 pounds, if I remember my specs correctly, which is a ton of weight. That means you can easily get 250 pounds up front, and then close to 200 pounds in the back or between the basket racks, including kids. So yeah, that's a lot of weight, but with that weight does come a trade-off. So that means that this bike is heavier to carry. So at one point I had to lift it up over a curb while I was traversing through the downtown area, and it takes a hefty might. But like I said, it's not too much of a bother because you got the dual batteries and definitely testing out the limits of range. That's where you usually see a heavy bike have its biggest problem, is when there's too much range and not enough battery. But in this case, we got both. So let's keep going. We have made it to an area of town that I know very, very well. This is Sugar House. It's a neighborhood. It's still Salt Lake City on the post office, but it's called Sugar House. Nice little place, cute little shops, very high rent. But yeah, let me show you why I really like the turn signal features on the Engwe LE20. So yeah, right now you press the button just once. It doesn't click into position, you just tap it and it kind of stays there. And then you'll notice up on the handlebars, you got that flashing light. That is also signaling the signal in the back. So this is a set of orange lights that are replacing the two red ones on the very end. And this does have a timeout of like 30 seconds or something. I haven't counted it, but it does have a timeout, so it'll stop on its own. So those are the turn signals. In terms of the front light is turned on by pressing and holding the plus button. The light does not have any turn signal functionality in it. It's just a set of really bright headlights that are attached to the crown of the fork, which is handy because it still goes with the direction of the tire and it's not attached to like the rack, and that way it only points forward. So yeah, those are the lights. And you know, while we're at it, let's talk about the display a little bit. The display is pretty easy to read in a small little spot. Comes up above the stem and it mounts on a single arm up here. So you can kind of twist it if you get it in just the right tension. The remote switch is over here on the left, and it's fairly basic. You got plus, minus, a little mode, and turning the thing on and off. So it doesn't have a specific button for the lights. It doesn't have a specific button for like a horn. There is a bell, of course. But yeah, those are the functions. Let's go ahead and scroll through a little bit. I like the motif because it tells you you're in level 1 pedal assist, and then you get up to level 2, 3, 4, 5. I haven't been using pedal assist at all. You got the little indicator for your lights when the speed gets going. Let me see if I can tilt this bike a little bit. Get the speed going. Miles per hour are right there. So let's continue on into the park and see what else we can see. Another cool thing about this bike is that it has a step-through frame that does have rigidity. Now, I want you to be suspicious every time you see a step-through cargo bike. And the reason why is because if you have a step-through frame where the metal just connects from the bottom up to the top, then many times that leads to instability. It leads to a frame that's not rigid enough to handle all that extra weight. I'll show you on the Engwe here. So on the Engwe, you've got a lot of extra metal right here. This piece is really thick. Of course, it's holding a big battery, which itself adds to some of the weight, but you got a big, thick piece of tubing here, a huge piece of tubing right here that leads into some extra rigidity for the frame. And the reason why that's necessary is because on many cargo bikes, you see a top tube that comes from here to here. They do that for the rigidity. They do that to make a more stable ride when you're carrying more weight. Now, I don't have a lot of weight on this bike right now, but I can tell you that it does feel more rigid than other electric cargo bikes that I've ridden that have that sort of setup. The Engwe feels really stable and really solid, which is a step up from many of its competition. So let's keep riding and see how far we go. So I gave in a little bit. I only got to like maybe 80% of both battery pack, and I had been riding for like 2 hours at that point, and I'm like, I gotta kill this thing. So I come up into the canyon. Beautiful place. If you check it out, we got nice fall colors coming in the canyon, because the canyon is always one step closer to winter, either in the spring or either in the fall like we are now. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what we can find at the next stop. Okay, I finally did it. After so many miles, I'll put it up on screen. After this many miles, I was able to finally get the bike to overheat. So what I was doing was riding it up this super steep grade, and I could put like a little gradient up on the screen as well to kind of measure what that is. But I was riding it up this steep grade with myself and my camera gear with no pedaling at all, just throttle. And after this period in time, it finally overheated. At least I believe that's what happened. So this is a 750 watt continuous, the website says, if I remember right, 1300 watt peak motor. And I must have been running it at a pretty high peak for quite a while because it finally just turned off. So if this theory is correct, it should start up pretty much right now because I let it cool down for a couple of minutes and then started the camera and everything. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we find. So the throttle does work. We are back in business. This is certainly not a normal commute, just biking up the canyon with the intent of killing it. Okay, I think it's time to take a break and then head back home. The bike has been doing great. It has been burrowing into this mountain. I think we're about 6-7 miles in total, and it's just been climbing the entire time. Let's eat some food, and then let's go ahead and not toboggan, what is it? Luge our way down the hill. So something I forgot to mention about this bike is one of the trade-offs, one of the compromises that they made when they're putting this bike together, because I wish it had better gearing. So the derailleur on this bike is this piece right here, just this piece. This is a Shimano Tourney derailleur. Shimano, of course, is a big brand name. The Tourney line is one of their value pieces of equipment. The Tourney is not as much of an issue as what's behind it. So let's sneak you past the wheel skirts here that are kind of hiding it. I don't think they did that on purpose. I don't think they're trying to obfuscate that. This is a good value, so don't think that the wheel skirt is some sort of nefarious motivation to hide what's going on back here. But if you take a look back here, you will see, you look real close. I'll put the camera up. I don't have too much light here. Hopefully I can fix some of that in post, but what we have is a very narrow set of gears. This is a 14 to 28 tooth. Let's see if I can get some contrast in here. Kind of bring it down a little bit. I don't know. So we have a really narrow gear range. This is a free wheel, which means on the very lowest sprocket, you got 14 teeth, and then you got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gears going up into the 28 tooth, which is the highest rung. So this bike doesn't have a wide set of gears to mechanically engage with your body so that you can actually get the bike moving in those high torque necessity scenarios. The motor can take care of it. I promise you, it took me climbing up into the mountains to get this motor to die. So don't think that this is a bad bike. Just think that the mechanical gearing is not going to be what's the word, like an adequate safety net for all scenarios. When you're riding around town, when you have a fairly light cargo, this will be kind of okay. But if it were me, I would have equipped this with a much wider set of gears. I would have put a cassette on there that can go down to 11 teeth, and I would have put a much larger sprocket on the back. I realize this costs money. I probably would have saved in some other spot or just let the price increase. Because like I said, it's a dang good deal for this bike the way it is. If you don't plan on pedaling a lot, which most people don't, when they're running around town, it's a-okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm filming a video about this bike.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're great. Thank you very much for your consideration. What a nice guy. Yeah, he saw me here on the side of the road, kneeling down next to a bike, so it probably looks like I'm fixing it. No one's behind me, right? Can you guys look? Is there anyone behind me? Yes, I am using my camera as a rear view mirror, and no, it's not safe. So if you can see those mountains behind me, that's where we stopped to eat lunch. The big tip right there is Mount Olympus, and I believe that we were in that canyon, so the lower portion right there. Okay, we are back where we started, but we're in a very different position because right now we've got a lot of miles on the bike and we went for quite the adventure all the way up into the canyon and back. But check this out. We are now at 19% for both batteries, or 19% on each. So we're close to 20%. We're at 73.6 miles. So we started at 15 miles before the trip. And yeah, that was some heavy usage. Hi, little baby. I really do like the bike. All things considered, it is a fun electric cargo bike, and definitely the dual batteries is a big part of that, if not the main part of it. Really good build quality on it. It felt sturdy even when I was taking it down that hill and then swishing through all the city traffic. Turn signals were great. I really want to try it with the cargo, or sorry, not the cargo. I really want to try to get the cargo stuff off and do it with the kid rails. That would be so much fun. And my little baby would love to come. Hey baby, come here. Come here, little baby. Oh no, come on. You want to say hello? Say hello, little baby. Hi. Can you say hi? And she says hi. But yeah, I'll let you know when the kid rails come in, if they come in. Subscribe to the channel and you'll find all that good stuff. I'm Mikey for Blue Monkey Bicycles, and I'll see you on later.